Now live on 10 Tampa Bay, rivers rising, communities now under a flood warning after Hurricane Milton. Team coverage of the impact. 1-2 punch. Anna Maria Island devastated by Helene and Milton. We're live with the effort to rebuild. Plus, gas shortage. Evacuees stranded on their way home to survey the damage. Tonight, the mad dash to the pump.
Keeping you are watching 10 Tampa Bay.
An historic hit. The Tampa Bay area spared from a direct hit in more than a century, now reeling in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. The devastation stretching the coast. Homes flooded, some flattened, trees and traffic lights toppled. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay at 6. I'm Dave Wagner.
And I'm Courtney Robinson. Hurricane Milton is responsible for 16 deaths in Florida tonight, 6 of them in the Tampa Bay area. We have live team coverage for you right now in multiple counties and gas stations limited on fuel.
One of the major concerns right now is water inundating communities as rivers rise tonight.
Already, Hillsborough County deputies have made a number of rescues. That started this morning. 10 Tampa Bay's Angelina Salcido is along the Alafaya River right now. And Angie, the river is above major flood stage and crews had to release more water from the Medard Reservoir.
And Courtney, that's because they're expecting for this river to get up to close to 25 feet. And that is incredible. That is something that this area has not seen before. Now, my live shot might get a little bit loud here just because people that live back there are starting to come to and from taking things out of their homes. But you can just see how much water this neighborhood is inundated with. It has been incredible to see. We were actually back there with deputies taking a look at the homes. There are cars that are submerged underwater, homes halfway full with water, and I'm told that if people are standing in some low-lying areas, the water can be anywhere from 5 to 6 feet. That is incredible. For most people, that would be something that could potentially be something deadly. And so the video that you guys are taking a look at right now is of the levels of the water here along the Alafaya River. For some perspective as well, keep in mind that the river is about a mile from this neighborhood. That just shows you how much water this neighborhood has taken on. We ran into some twin brothers who were kind of surveying the area, checking on their neighbors as well. They actually left so they could avoid something like this.
That last one we just sticked it out at the house, and then this last one we went to Orlando. Just sucks. I mean, just drew the short end of the straw.
And the reason why he's saying that they drew the short end of the stick is just because they have seen water in this area before, but they've never seen it get this high. It's about 4 to 5 feet of water more than what anyone in this area has expected. And like you're seeing this family go down right now on their boat. Many of these families that live back here actually have boats, so they've been able to get in and out. It's those people that don't have the boats or may have a reason impeding them to try and evacuate themselves that had the issue earlier on this morning. Sheriff Chad Chronister telling me that they actually ended up doing 200 rescues in this area. The reason why deputies are still here and will be here throughout the night is because there are people being there right now, but they may not feel comfortable a little bit later on, or they may, as the sheriff put it, kind of laughed about it a little bit, but they may just be tired of being wet because there is just so much water that's back there. So we're going to be out here continuing to monitor the situation out here. But for now, live in Lithia, Angelina Salcido, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Angie, thank you. Tonight we're seeing a similar scene in neighborhoods in Pasco County.
And if you live in low-lying areas, officials are urging some of you to neighbors there are concerned about what's to come.
Well, Dave, here in Elfers, we're on State Road 54, which is closed off tonight because of flooding way down the road here. That is where the first responders are staged over at the Bells in the Pasco Square Plaza, and that is where they are because there has been hundreds of high water rescues over the past couple days in Pasco County, roughly 200 according to Pasco County officials. But I want to take you down here. We're in Celtic Drive here in Pasco County. This is a taste of what they've been seeing across these neighborhoods. This high water blocking roadways here. Float River, this is one of the few rivers that peaked early, and you can actually see since we've been here, there is a water line now showing that the Anclote River is finally starting to recede just a bit. This is what the Anclote River looked like and the neighborhoods looked like that were blocked off. This is one woman who was in Newport Richey, sent me these videos showing what her neighborhood looked like all day today. They stayed put, as many people did, in those neighborhoods, even though they are impassable by cars. They felt safe in their homes there. Countless people, again, have been staying in their homes just like that. This is historic flooding in Pasco County. The Anclote River here, again, peaking at more than 26 feet, according to NOAA. But there are still other rivers that are expected to peak over the weekend, even early next week. Right now in Zephyr Hills, the Hillsborough River is at a major flood stage. We're hearing about high water rescue still happening in that part of Pasco County. And the Withlacoochee is expected to peak early next week. So folks across Pasco, Hernando, Citrus County that are in the low-lying areas near the Withlacoochee River, they are asked to get to higher ground right now because that water is still rising and still rising quickly. Officials tonight, they say, expect if you're driving around any of those counties to see a lot of roads just like this that are still closed off to traffic because of flooding. And a reminder again to never drive in that high water. Live in Elfers, Hannah Deneen, 10 Tampa Bay.
Tough scene there, and several counties are reopening sandbag sites amid river flooding. The county's opening sites include Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties. Depending on where you go, you may need to take your own shovel. You can find exact locations and hours of operation posted right now on our free 10 Tampa Bay app. Well, tonight crews are working hard to get your lights back on.
More than 2.2 million customers are without power across the state. It could take days, potentially weeks in some neighborhoods. You're seeing video of all of the linemen right there. This is from Florida Power and Light. Tonight, Duke Energy did say that they have a timeline for restoring power to several counties. Citrus, Hernando, Highlands, and Polk can expect restoration by midnight Sunday. Tuesday at midnight for Pasco and Pinellas counties. Airports across our area are beginning to reopen after being damaged by Hurricane Milton. This is video right here from Tampa International Airport, back open today. Right now, more than 100 flights canceled, roughly 70 are delayed. And I want to give you a look at some damage to Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. You can see that mangled metal right there on the tarmac. We saw the roof come off of Concourse B. The airport will now reopen. St. Pete Clearwater International Airport will resume flight operations tomorrow. Rental companies are already reopened.
Well, tonight calls for accountability. In the last few hours, Governor Ron DeSantis questioned why a crane was not taken down in St. Pete before Milton's arrival. This is that crane he's talking about, sprawled across First Avenue South at 4th Street in downtown St. Pete. The crash caused significant damage to the Tampa Bay Times building when it fell after Milton's landfall on Wednesday. Now, 2 days later, First Avenue South and 3rd Street to 5th Street are blocked off. Leaders in St. Pete tell us they had site surveys last Friday and had conversations with the development company, but the city says the company told them it would take 7 days to dismantle the crane.
You need construction workers to have a plan, and you've got to have those contingencies. I mean, it's not like this snuck out from anywhere. I mean, we had strong 7 to 10 days notice that things were heading in this direction. If you go back and look at the previous 7 days prior to landfall, it was constantly being called for, the greater Tampa Bay region.
The Florida Director of Emergency Management says local leaders should be telling companies all permitted work needs to be secured. The residences at 400 Central say they're flying in engineers to assess the crane. Now, in a statement, the condo company said they're grateful no one was injured in the area and that the only damage was to bricks and not people. They say they will continue work on the building as soon as possible.
Tonight, long lines across the Bay Area as gas is in short supply. We are live with the effort by evacuees to get home.
Plus, rebuilding after Helene and Milton. In just minutes, the steps you need to know before filing a claim.
Ten Tampa Bay closed captioning is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. We don't have to tell you just how difficult this hurricane season has been.
Gotta get together, gotta get it cleaned up.
But what we can say, we're in this with you.
They will rebuild, they will be back, because that is what this community does.
As we begin our recovery, we know you have questions.
Everything we had worked hard for is all gone.
And we'll be here with the information you need as we recover. Continue to watch 10 Tampa Bay and stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
this evening, many people are still trying to get home to assess the damage from Milton.
We have some news, though, just into the 10 Tampa Bay newsroom that with Port Tampa Bay, they say that there are tanker trucks already filling up and leaving Port Tampa Bay. They say that the operators are up and running, 3 out of the 7, and that they should have gas out. You should be able to see that out there tonight into tomorrow. But today, and until that happens, the shortage in Tampa Bay is making things really, really difficult for people to get around tonight. 10 Tampa Bay's Miguel Octavio is in Polk County. Miguel.
Courtney, those fuel tankers cannot come soon enough because I can tell you the frustration is just growing here at this Wawa in Lakeland. We've been hearing a lot of shouting, a lot of arguments, some people even cutting in line here in Wawa. They are just desperate to get any gallon of gas to fuel up their cars here. Some of them here from Lakeland, some of them evacuated down here to get to higher ground and safety from their homes in areas like St. Pete, Tampa, or Zephyr Hills. But the line, I was hoping to give you some good news throughout the day. It is just bumper to bumper on the right shoulder of US 98. Full hours just to get a gallon of gas to be able to get home. And some bad news that this Wawa, this is just one of 2 stations we've seen here so far that does have gas, and it seems less pumps are now working. So I'm hoping that for the people who've been waiting here for a long time that they're able to get at least 1 gallon of gas here. But we know this is the same story all across Tampa Bay and even closer inland here like Polk County. We spoke with some people who've been desperate to find any gas stations that are working and those just trying to get gas as well. Here's some of what they had to say.
I don't have many options. I just got to do it. But yeah, I was on like half a tank.
Long lines. It's just been crazy.
The line is like really tremendously long. It's all the way down.
And as of this morning, Gas Buddy even saying about 29% of gas stations in Florida not working. We know fuel tankers are on its way, but people here, at least in Lakeland, they cannot wait for them to come any sooner here. Keep in mind, like much of them not have power, dealing with flooded roads, trees knocking down those roads, and people dealing with flooding and damage within their homes after Hurricane Milton cut across the state here. So this is the last thing they want to deal with. A couple hours wait here, and I'm hoping the people who've been waiting here all day are still able to get some gas before this station runs out. Live in Lakeland, Miguel Octavio, 10 Tampa Bay.
Miguel, thank you. I want to give you a look at Bradenton Beach from this morning. Unbelievable. You see a home right here off of its foundation. This is very similar to what we saw in Helene right here, where sand washed over the roadway. Damage like this is what you will find up and down the coast of Florida tonight. In the aftermath, thousands of people across Florida are assessing damage. Analysts estimate when all is said and done, the storm may have caused up to $50 billion in insured losses for Florida property owners. Experts advise homeowners affected to locate their policies, take pictures and video of the damage, and make a list of damaged or lost items. It's also important to remember short-term repairs might help while you wait.
If it's a temporary repair, just go on the record with them and make a record of when you contacted them, even if you left a voicemail. But you really need to make sure not to do anything permanent until you have that agreement from the insurance company.
She also says homeowners should be prepared to negotiate with insurance companies if they get a settlement offer they believe is too low. We're talking $50 potential billion there. Katrina was $41 billion, and the costs just keep going up.
So Helene will get retired. We know that, especially what happened in North Carolina. I have a buddy of mine that works in the insurance industry, and as we were going through the storm, he shared me some of the estimates that industry had, and the minimum insurance coverage cost that they thought would be $1.3 billion for just the Tampa Bay area in Central Florida, and that was the minimum, and that could go anywhere up. 10. We'll see what it all comes out to. We had a big wind maker too, so it's not just surge along the coast. You got everybody seeing a lot of wind right near the core that caused a lot of damage, and then you get this. This is all the rainfall that is still flooding places. Flooded a lot of places that don't normally flood, and it's now flooding those folks along the river more than they've ever seen it flood before. And so triple win. We got everything between Helene with the surge. And I also would say that Bradenton Beach and certainly Anna Maria Island, I think they did get some surge from Milton on the bay side, coming in with those northeast winds blowing the water over the backside of the islands. Obviously, you can see where all the heavy rain was. The center went in right down in there, so just north of the center. Models did a good job of forecasting that. How about 19 inches of rain almost at Albert Whitted, 18.88. Clearwater, almost the same. Ruskin, a little less, 18 inches. Pinellas County EOC, over 17 inches there in Pinellas County. Now, the rivers, Anclote River, it has crested. And the numbers were showing that, and now Hannah says you could see where the water was up to here, and now it's coming back down. That's the good news. That's at least in this spot. This is Elfers. Some spots will be a little bit different, especially get down towards Tarpon Springs. It's going to get real high, but that will be coming down. Alafia River, Lithia Pinecrest Road. That looks like it's crested. It's close. Will likely do so later tonight if it already hasn't. But again, it's a slow decline in the water levels. Hillsborough River near Zephyr Hills, that crested late yesterday, early this morning. That's down about a half a foot from what it was at the crest. So good news there. The Little Manatee River, that's out in Waimama. That crested late yesterday, early this morning, and that has come down quite a bit. That's down almost a foot and a half. Now with Lacucci in Trilby, this is eastern Hernando area. That one's coming up Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. That water is going to continue to rise through the middle of next week. Same thing as you get out towards the Peace River in Bartow, State Road 60. That's at 8 now. It's going to 9. It's going to add another foot through Tuesday and Wednesday coming up. And Cypress Creek at Worthington, 13 3/4 going up another 1.25 feet by Tuesday into Wednesday. So not all the flooding is done here. We do have some showers, but most of it's down south and it's very light. In those hard-hit areas where we saw all the rain's not seeing anything. Big ridge of high pressure over top of the eastern half of the United States. That brought that cooler air behind Milton. There's warmer air on the backside. 90s, Texas, Oklahoma. Will warm up a little bit next couple of days. We made the low 80s today, upper 70s for inland locations. But we'll basically stay dry. We'll see just a few clouds overnight tonight. That's tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. 10% chance for a shower on your Saturdays, not a lot. So here's your forecast. Down through the 70s for tonight, mid to upper 60s. Touch warmer than yesterday. Not much, but a touch. Touch more humid. Then tomorrow we'll go 84 with partly cloudy skies. I think the clouds thicken like they did today. Tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have just a 10% chance for a shower. There's your 7-day forecast. Next front's going to try and cool us off and do a pretty good job at it Wednesday and Thursday. If you remember yesterday, we were thinking it's going to get quite the push of cool and dry air. We're going to go basically high 80 on Wednesday and Thursday, but look at those morning lows in the upper 50s and low 60s.
There is a path of destruction this afternoon. Hurricane Milton made landfall Wednesday night at 8:30 on Siesta Key as a Category 3, and you can see the before and after as satellite images show what the storm unleashed on our area. But not all of the images show the truth. There are pictures and there are videos that are circulating claiming to show devastation from Hurricane Milton.
Our Ann Dittil with the National Verify team breaks down which images are real.
Often after a big natural disaster like Hurricane Milton, we see false, out of context, or manipulated images spread online. Using these sources, I'll walk you through what we know about 2 viral posts that claim to be from the storm. First, this post claims to show a compilation of the tornadoes that hit the Florida coast before Hurricane Milton made landfall. But using video forensics and reverse image search tools, we verified that none of the 7 clips featured in the video are current. We traced this clip to a 2021 post from Pensacola, Florida. Another portion of the video is actually a cloud formation in Cincinnati, Ohio from 2022. Next, we have another compilation-style video. Again, none of these clips show actual footage from Milton. The first clip, which appears to show a tornado, is not real. It's computer-generated. We traced it back to a YouTube account, which clearly labels the content as CGI. The rest of the clips are real, but not current. One dates back to 2022. So, next time you see a video claiming to show footage from the hurricane, make sure to verify before sharing. With your Verify, I'm Ariante Till.
10 Sports is sponsored by Advent Health. 10 Tampa Bay's Storm Recovery Special.
We're here to get you the help you need.
From insurance to FEMA, electrical, and more. Stream it today on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Well, this was a sweet treat in a dark hour. The owners of Dairy Joy in South Tampa hooked up a small generator and gave away free ice cream. It gave people a chance to sit down, relax, enjoy a scoop of their favorite flavor. The limited menu was just enough to put a smile on everyone's face, and kids also got a chance to escape and have some fun. So you got the cool ice cream, you just wish you could have the hot shower.
That's true. Yep, Dairy Joy, always good. The Bay Area has been through a lot over the past few weeks here. Right now, there are resources available for those affected by Milton and Helene. You can go to 10tampabay.com/recovery. There you'll find resources including help with medical care, food, and other needs. We appreciate you being with us. We know it's been a tough few days around here. It's going to get better. The CBS Evening News is next.
We'll see you back here tonight at 11.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 10 Tampa Bay Plus app everywhere you stream. 10 Tampa Bay is sponsored by Integrity Home Solutions, where details matter.